Hello everybody, how are you doing today? What's up guys, Kanye West 215 here. So in this video, I want to talk about the battle step. Now the battle step is a specific step within the battle phase that I want to touch on, because there seems to be some rulings in the battle step that a lot of people don't know, including some very skilled players, some very good players that have been playing the game for years, and just people that you would think know the basic mechanics of the game, but for some reason, a lot of people do not know about the specific mechanics within the battle step. So I just want to get that covered in this video, and hopefully there's going to be no more confusion, what the hell I'm saying. So, yes. Anyways, I'll give you a quick run through of the battle phase right now. So, yes, read with me, big boys. Welcome everybody to the reading time with Asian. So, yes. Anyways, here is the TCG battle phase. The battle phase starts with a start step, which is basically the point where you declare, I'm entering the battle phase. And then you retain the priority to activate any spell speed 2 cards at this point, and then you can pass the priority to your opponent, who can now activate cards like, Threatening Roar or whatever they want. So, yes. After the start step, we proceed to the battle step, which is basically what this video is about. So, let's read, shall we? The turn player must declare that he or she is entering the battle. Okay, that's that bullshit. I'm saying? Who the hell say entering battle step? Like a freaking nerd. Alright, anyways. Okay, next point. Okay, the first point was kind of bull, you know what I mean? Alright, so multiple chains are allowed during the battle step, but only the first chain is in response to the attack. Now, this is extremely important and basically what this video wants to cover, if you know what I mean. So this means that cards such as Magic Cylinder and Magician's Circle, whatever the frick that card is, like, damn son. Anyways, you get the point. Can only be activated in the first chain during the step. First chain. Keep in mind, multiple chains are allowed during the battle step. Okay, you clowns out there who think you can only have one chain and then you go to damage step. Okay, calm the frick. Oh shit, my bad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, so crazy too. Oh shit. Oh my god. I do not want to see damage step. Oh, sorry about that, big boys. Mayday, okay. Anyways, next point. If the monsters that the controller of the attack target controls changes during the battle step, a replay is triggered, and after replay, a new chain can be formed, but this chain is not in response to an attack declaration, which means at this point you can activate stuff like Mirror Force and Deep Prison and all that bull, you know what I mean? And then, last point, after both players decide not to start a chain, gameplay proceeds to the damage step, as long as the attack can continue. So, after both players decide not to start a chain, implying multiple chains can be activated before a damage step. Damn. So, yes, I will now show you some scenarios. Sorry, I'm going to skip over Mr. Damage Step here and all the sub-step bullshit. And basically just focus on the battle step for this video. So, yes, here are some examples to hopefully help you guys understand the battle step a little better. So, it's really important to remember that cards that specifically state when an opponent's monster declares an attack, the declares an attack is really important. You can only activate that in direct response to your opponent's attack declaration. So, yes, and there's only one chain in the attack declaration response. So, in this scenario, we have one Stardust Dragon, a very sexy Stardust Dragon, and a Wiretap. So, that's what your opponent has. And me, the very sexy Asian, we have double Deep Prison set. So, in this scenario, your opponent declares an attack, and they pass priority to me. And this is still in the attack declaration window. And at this point, I'm going to activate Deep Prison, because this is the only time I can activate it. And then your opponent chains Wiretap. And at this point, obviously, I can't chain my other Deep Prison, because Wiretap's a spell speed 3, and Deep Prison is spell speed 2. So, Wiretap will resolve, and then this will resolve, and this will go back to my invisible deck. Very sexy. And at this point, the attack declaration window has resolved already, and now it proceeds to before damage step. And at this point, I cannot activate another Deep Prison, because Deep Prison has to be in this attack declaration response window. So at this point, Stardust Dragon's attack will go through, and I cannot activate Deep Prison, because Deep Prison specifically states, well, can't really read that shit, but it specifically states when an opponent's monster declares an attack. So that is why you can only activate this in direct response. So, yes, and there can only be one chain in direct response to the opponent's attack declaration. So instead of having 2 Deep Prisons, you have 1 Deep Prison and 1 compulsory evacuation device. So, yes. In this same scenario, starters will attack, and you activate deprison. Your opponent chains the wiretap, and then this resolves and all that bull, you know what I'm saying? And at this point, the attack declaration window has already passed, but now we proceed to the battle step before the damage step, after attack declaration. At this point, you can activate your very sexy compulsory evacuation device to return the very sexy Stardust back to the extra deck. So, yeah, because this does not have a specific timing for it to be activated, whereas cards like Deprison, Magic Cylinder, and Mirror Force, and, you know, Sakura's Armor and shit like that specifically state when your opponent declares an attack. And basically, it has to be chained in the attack declaration window. Compulsory evacuation device, however, is different because it doesn't have a specific timing that it has to be activated in. So you can actually activate this after the first chain has resolved with the wiretap and dimensional prison. So this will actually resolve in the new chain. So yes. So here's another very similar scenario. So let's say your opponent has a very sexy Dark-Armed Dragon on their field and a set wiretap, and I have a Artifact Sanctum and a Mirror Force. So yes. So your opponent declares an attack with Dark-Armed Dragon, and at this point, this is the only time I can activate the Mirror Force directly in response. Or it doesn't have to be direct, but in the attack declaration window. So yes, he declares an attack, and I respond with the Foresight Lil Espelho, and he chains the wiretap. At this point, obviously, I cannot chain my Artifact Sanctum because that's a spell speed 3, and this is a spell speed 2. So this thing resolves. This chain resolves basically, and after this has resolved, we proceed now to the battle step before damage step. And now I can actually activate the Artifact Sanctum, and so yes. Because Artifact Sanctum doesn't say when your opponent declares an attack, or when your opponent's monster declares an attack, like Mirror Force does. So, basically, I can activate Artifact Sanctum at this point, because there's no specific timing where it has to be activated. So I can bring out my very sexy Mortal Tech and do the shenanigans. Let's say this was a Call to Haunted, and I brought back some random monster. A replay would occur, and Dark Arm can choose the same target or a different target. Now here's another example. Now this example is where you can actually take advantage of the battle step mechanics to your own benefit. So yes, let's say you have a Dark-Armed Dragon in the field and your opponent has a Judgment Dragon, and they have a set Mirror Force and you have a set Book of Moon. So yes. Now I declare an attack with my Dark-Armed Dragon on his Judgment Dragon, and your opponent goes, what the hell is he thinking? He has less attack. So let's say in response to the attack declaration, he chooses not to activate Mirror Force. Now keep in mind, this is the only time you can actually activate Mirror Force, which is in the attack declaration window. So basically I pass priority to him, and he chooses not to activate his Mirror Force, so he passes priority back. And so basically there's going to be no chain in response to the attack declaration. Now I can activate my Book of Moon in the battle step before damage step, and book his Judgment Dragon. And at this point, he cannot chain his Mirror Force because the timing is incorrect. This can only be activated in the attack declaration window. And when I activate Book of Moon, this is already past the window and before the damage step in the battle step. So yes, I can actually Book of Moon this, and it goes through. So that's a pretty cool trick that a lot of people yet don't know, because people think right after attack declaration becomes the damage step. But really, you can activate as many different cards and create as many chains after the attack declaration and before the damage step as you want. So, yes. In this case, Dark-Armed Dragon win! So here's another scenario. Let's say your opponent has a Dark-Armed Dragon and 2 wiretaps face down. So crazy. Oh my god, so many tapping of the wire. Okay, and I have a Mirror Force, Phoenix Chain, and a compulsory evacuation device. So yes. So your opponent declares an attack with Dark-Armed Dragon, and at this point I can activate any of these cards. These cards don't have specific timings, but Mirror Force on the hand does have a specific timing where it can be activated, and that is in response to the attack declaration. So at this point, I'm going to activate my Mirror Force because this is the only time I can actually activate it. And then your opponent chains wiretap. So obviously, I cannot chain anything else because these are all spell speed 2, and that is spell speed 3. So the chain in direct response to the attack declaration now resolves, and yeah, this shit gets shuffled back to my deck or whatever. And now we proceed to the battle step before the damage step once again. At this point, I activate my Fiendish Chain on the Dark Arm Dragon. Your opponent chains Wiretap. And it's really important to remember that as many chains as you want can be built after the attack declaration window and before the damage step. So at this point, I activate my Fiendish Chain and your opponent chains Wiretap, and that's gonna resolve and, you know, shuffle this shit back. Oh my god, so, but yes. And at this point, I can activate my compulsory evacuation device after the Wiretap has resolved in a new chain and return the Dark Arm back to your opponent's hand. So, but yes, that's how it works. Many people believe that, I will show you today what many people believe. They think that they attack with Dark Arm, I activate Mirror Force, they Wiretap, and it goes right to damage step. But that is not true. You can actually activate this after the attack declaration window, and even if that gets Wiretap, you can have another chain, and yeah, that shit resolves, and, you know, Dark Arm Betty set. So, but yes, that is how the battle step works, guys. It is quite aggravating that even some very experienced and skillful players do not actually know this, that multiple chains can be built in the battle step. I think the fact that only one chain can be built in direct response to the attack declaration window is what's causing most of the confusion. But cards that don't have specific timing, like, you know, these cards, they can be activated in direct response to the attack and even after the attack declaration window and before the damage step, as you've seen from the examples. So, but yes, hopefully you guys can understand this a little better and hopefully no more confusion. So, but yes, thanks for watching, guys, and peace!